Back on the Young Turks. This sounds almost as if, what is this? Is that song from Spain itself, Dave? Do you have any idea? It sounds Spanish. Sounds a funny thing
I don't
to
know
say.
even what the song was. So.
It almost sounds like that the singer is from Barcelona. If I'm right about that, that's going to be like the greatest call of my life. Somebody look into it. No idea what the song is even called. The greatest call of my life. All right, let's see what happens. All right, first, Anna,
Yes.
Are you into the massive ordnance penetrator?
Am I into what?
The massive ordnance penetrator.
I don't know what that means.
That is bunker buster bomb. Anyway, it sounds funny. That's why I was asking you.
Is my mic on?
I don't know. I'm wondering the same thing. I can hardly hear her.
It's not on, is it?
It's not on? You want to check it?
Hold on.
All right. Some technical difficulties today. Everything's going to be just
How
fine.
about now? Is it on now?
There you go.
All right.
You know what happens with a mic? It works a lot better if you turn it on.
Yeah, but I'm not used to this lavalier mic business.
Right. No, it's true.
So
I
don't
hear
give me a hard time. But anyway, let's get to the good stuff.
I agree. And you know what? You sound pretty good with this mic. I like it.
I like this mic too.
All right. God
I love
bless.
how we're open and honest about everything with our listeners.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Yeah.
You know, that was a little thing to actually bond with you guys. We planned it all along.
Right.
All right.
All right. Let's start with Dr. Phil. He's been slapped with a lawsuit. And a bizarre lawsuit at that. One of his former patients, her name is Shirley, is claiming that Dr. Phil sexually assaulted her.
All right. Now, I love the details of this, but my favorite part is the slapped with a lawsuit. He wasn't just served or he's not getting sued. He's slapped with a lawsuit.
God, he's so freaky looking. Look, the lawsuit doesn't sound like it has any merit whatsoever. I'm already gonna, jump the gun and say that. But Dr. Phil does look like a creepy guy.
Okay, you were dying for this lawsuit to have merit. I could tell from the beginning when we first started discussing this.
Look at
Okay,
him. Oh, he
what does
looks
that mean? What does that mean?
He
Look
looks like
at
such
him.
a pervy wanker.
That's so wrong. That's so wrong. And
No.
then, when you read into the story, you realized that this lawsuit
woman-
sounds like total bullshit, right?
Yeah, but it could just be the article that's like, basically drawing this woman out to seem like a psychopath.
She's
never know.
so biased.
You never know.
Okay, so tell him. Okay.
It's unclear how she's seeking damages, but she filed a lawsuit where she allegedly was held captive, forced to be in the same room with a completely live naked man while he exposed his entire naked body, genitals, and all. A live naked man, as opposed to a dead naked man.
Yeah, but it wasn't Dr. Phil.
But it wasn't Dr. Phil, it was some other guy. And she was in the Dr. Phil house, which is where she went to get therapy in 2007.
She claims basically that she was brainwashed by Dr. Phil, and then Dr. Phil brings in this guy with his schwang wang wang, and then they're like, ha, but she doesn't explain what part of this therapy it is.
Right.
And then my favorite part is she claims that Dr. Phil grabbed her left breast. He's like, look, I'm not interested in your right breast. I'm not interested in your buttocks or your bum. Okay, left breast.
No, she was trying to make it seem like it had some sort of merit. She was trying to be detailed. So she's like, okay, I gotta provide some detail. Left breast.
I know. No, she filed her own lawsuit. She's her own lawyer.
She's her own lawyer. Hold on. And this is why it's extremely sketchy, right? So she's already filed 2 lawsuits previously that were super sketchy. One was a malpractice suit against Orange County Hospital in 2007. And then she also sued a car dealership in 2002. And then she sued a car dealership in 2007. She's acting as her own attorney. And her filing was filled with misspellings and grammatical errors, which doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Now, look, we can't absolutely judge. Maybe those other 2 cases, they don't have the details of the other 2 cases. Maybe they had merit too. She just keeps running into bad luck and winds up having to sue people, right? And maybe, Dr. Phil has a fascination with left breast that we don't understand. And maybe she just couldn't afford a lawyer and had to write out her own thing, and she's not that educated. And what could she do? And a bunch of mistakes. It happens, right? All those maybes. But I'm not buying it, okay? Right. We read 2 different articles on this, and I'll tell you what kind of journalist I am. The first article did not mention this other sketchy lawsuits, okay? Or that she was pulling an Orly tights and representing herself with an online degree or whatever was happening, right? But as soon as I saw left breast, I was like, there's something wrong here.
So the left breast is what tipped you off?
Yeah.
What tipped me off is the fact that she filed for bankruptcy back in May of 2008.
Like she's out of money.
She's looking for some money, right?
Right. And so, and then once I saw the left breast, I was like, no, there's something. And then we found a second article that explained her whole history, etc. And then I was like, oh, totally schwang, wang, wang. And plus, why have the naked guy in there? If you know what I'm saying, what's the point of that? It just, none of it rang true.
It was a live naked guy.
It was a live naked guy. All right, so Dr. Phil, not guilty.
Okay, we don't know that yet.
We don't know for the moment being. For the
Right.
moment being, you know what? We will not judge you guilty ahead of time.
Right.
Are we not merciful? Are we not merciful?
But it would be the best call of my life if they said he was guilty. If they found him guilty.
Right, but you don't think he's guilty, so it's not really a call.
He might be.
You just want him to be guilty because you think he looks like a perfect wanker. It's ridiculous.
I know. That's wrong. And I'm joking, obviously.
Okay, all right.
A little bit. Okay, let's go to the next story. Michael Vick. He's getting a reality show, and it's going to be on BET called The Michael Vick Project. Mm-hmm. And he wants people to see his tender, loving side.
Oh, I'm sure. Does he have one? I guess.
He might. I don't know. He says that he's human like everyone else, and he wants to change people's perceptions.
Really? I thought he was an alien. Okay, so he's human. I didn't know that. That's fascinating. I can't wait to watch this show. It's going to be riveting. Here's when I would have watched this show. If they were following Michael Vick around back when he was fighting dogs. Okay, then that would have been interesting. Or then when he went to trial, etc. When he was wasting all that money with his posse, that would have been an interesting show. You know what's a boring show? Michael Vick reforming himself, doing nothing interesting, and, sitting around being a good guy.
No, you never know.
Snooze fest.
No, look, BET is not that dumb, okay? They're going to find a way to inject some drama into that. It's going to be great.
No, it just has his big name. That's it. He's Michael Vick. Oh my God, let's watch this reality show. Besides which, everybody gets a reality show. If you're even vaguely famous, it's kind of embarrassing if you don't have a reality show.
So are you embarrassed?
Well, I'm not vaguely famous, so not yet. But if I do, then I will be embarrassed if we don't have one. Yeah, no, that's sure. It's going to be terrible. I'd much rather watch Terrell Owens' show. Because Terrell Owens is still crazy. And what's the chance Michael Vick does something outrageous on that show?
Probably not.
He
Because,
can't.
yeah, he does want to clean up his image. It probably will be boring. And like most reality shows, it'll last maybe one season, right? But the TO show is great.
Okay.
It is.
All right,
Wonderful.
now I'm going to give you a little, inside baseball, which is a perfect way of putting it here. You know how you were saying in the beginning that we're honest with our audience, etc. Today, Jesus is very emotional. Okay, it's an emotional day for him. So, every once in a while, I hear in the last hour, damn it, right? I'm like, man, Jesus does not get that worked up about the show. And I felt what happened to the show? Oh my God, are we not recording? What's happening, right? Mm-hmm. And then I was like, duh, of course the Dodgers game is on, right? And he's watching it in the corner. And then just a minute ago, right, we're doing the story on Michael Vick, and I see Jesus go, yes! I'm like, man, he's excited about the Michael Vick show. And I was like, oh, right, of course. Well, they hit a home run or something?
Oh, they just tied it in the ninth, man.
Oh,
It was
wow.
2 runs. A big error by the Cardinals, man, costed them the lead. Now it's tied in the ninth.
All right. Look, you know what? That does equal 2 fist pumps. I'll give you that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So now we still have a great show for you guys. Everybody, calm down. That's usually a bad programming idea to tell you about something else exciting that's happening, right? But hey, you could have your TV and your computer on at the same time if you're into it, as Jesus is doing right now. He's now doing 10 fist bumps. Did they take the lead or something? Okay. All right. Calm down. All right. Now let's go on to Shep Smith.
Okay.
What's Shep Smith doing in the third hour? That's interesting. Let's watch.
Shep Smith is a very animated character, okay? He was talking about this new concoction. It's called the Bacon Cheese Donut Burger. And it's just another crazy invention that someone came up with where instead of using buns on the cheeseburger, you use 2 Krispy Kreme donuts.
That sounds fun.
Right? So Shep Smith was talking about this, and he compared it to the apocalypse. I'm not kidding.
All right. He's a little melodramatic. Let's watch it. Let's have fun.
It's impossible. And it just seems like the stupidest thing. I mean, you got a perfectly good cheeseburger working there, and instead of a bun, look at this.
It's going to be okay.
Those are Krispy Kreme donuts.
Those are crispy.
I'm not
donuts.
kidding. It's 1,500 calories. I don't know how many grams of fat it is. They won't tell us.
They won't
Look at it. That's a cheeseburger with lettuce and tomato and cheese and burger and Krispy Kreme and bacon and Krispy Kreme donuts on either side of it, slapped on the grill. Good God. We're told the donut burger is a big hit at a fair in West Springfield, Massachusetts. There was a stand right there outside the city's Better Living Center. We should mention a bar owner from Decatur, Georgia, says he came up with the donut burger 4 years ago when he ran out of hamburger buns. I mean, there are a lot of ways to end it all. You could take a whole bottle of pills. You know, you could go get in a car chase and run out and act like you're going to shoot somebody, and then the cop would kill you, right? Or you could just really eat one of those. Seems to me.
You know what I love is how dramatic he's being. It's awesome. Like it has the same like pause, like when it's as if he's covering Hurricane Katrina. It's like, good God, what's happened here?
No, but that's why I like it. I feel like I've met my match. You know how I take things over the top? I'm
Right.
just like, oh my God.
Like that's the worst piece of food ever.
No, but I think he takes it over the top even more than I do.
That's the kind of thing Anna would say. No, absolutely. No, that's we don't do Krispy Kreme donut burgers. Remember when he did that with torture? It's not what America does. Actually, in this case, it's totally what America does.
Right.
Hey, Shep, welcome to America. But anyway, all of a sudden, we got a guy we like on Fox News.
Yeah,
We're having fun with this guy.
he's been really interesting lately.
And remember, old friend of our executive producer, Dave Kohler.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How,
Dave, you hang out with Shep Smith?
As we've said many times, I've hung out with him 3 times in
Oh,
my
then
life.
you guys are definitely best friends.
And his show was always fairly interesting, even 10 years ago. So, of course, you've watched 3 clips in the past month, and now everyone's on board.
Okay, yeah, no, of course. Now, since he's biased as his old friend, so he's, you were a fan of Shep Smith for 10 years. Oh, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, all right, Shep, keep it up, man. It's fun for everybody. It's a rare guy on Fox we're apparently rooting for now. So you go get him. Although I would urge a little bit of calm with the Krispy Kreme burger thing. You're not going to die instantly if you eat it. And it looks disgusting, honestly, because I don't like the salt and the sugar thing. But I would try a couple of bites. Just out of curiosity.
yeah, definitely.
Right.
I'm not convinced it's 1,500 calories, though, to be honest with you.
Really? It
Yeah.
looks like it's more.
No, I don't think so.
You know what that means? That means she wants to try it.
No,
She's
it
like,
has-
it's not 1,500 calories.
No, you know why? Because you know me. I know the caloric value of every food. I have it memorized.
You know, you're getting through to me.
Oh, really?
Because, like, you taught me that a fillet of fish is 300 calories, right? I'm like, wow, so that's like the equivalent of 5 fillet of fish. And I thought the same thing you did. I'm like, could it really be that much? Couldn't be, could it?
No, 300 is like an estimate. 300 isn't the exact, but it's around 300 to 400 calories in that range.
Fillet of fish.
Filet of fish. Filet of fish isn't that bad.
How much is like a quarter pounder in cheese? Is it like 600 calories?
I had one the other week, 560 calories.
So that's like the equivalent. I could believe that that's the equivalent of like 3/4 pounder in cheese, or a little less than 3/4 pounder in cheese. It's pretty nasty.
It's nasty, but each Krispy Kreme donut, believe it or not, is 250 calories. So,
Man, you got this thing to a science.
no, I'm telling you, that's why people are exaggerating and sensationalizing this burger thing. It's not that bad.
You remember we were going to do this story earlier in the week, and then they have that sandwich that has 4,800 calories.
Yeah. What sandwich was that?
I forgot, but it was some
Yeah.
sort of like monstrous sandwich for 4,800 calories.
Yeah, it was probably something from Chili's. Chili's is like, everything is loaded with calories.
I know, you got me so worried about it. So, you know, can I tell you one other thing? Ever since you've been ragging on Chili's that way, you know, Wendy and I used to go to Chili's all the time.
I still go to Chili's all the time.
I know, but we brought it way down.
Yeah.
We go a lot less than we used to. Maybe that's why I'm losing weight.
Look, the biggest surprise to me when I went to Chili's is, you know how much I love buffalo wings, right? And their buffalo wings, in my opinion, are the best. Crispy and tender on the inside, right? Anyway, so I was like, I'm going to eat light tonight. I'm just going to order some buffalo wings. It'll be fine. It comes with 10 tiny little buffalo wings, 1,600 calories
For the whole thing.
for the whole thing. That's insane.
Huh,
That's the
interesting.
apocalypse.
That's the apocalypse. Good God! What's happened here? All right, final thought on this is, I had one other thing. Caloric intake, Chili's. Damn it! I forgot. All right, that's all right. Come right back. Young Turks. Back on the Young Turks. Today is a bit of a historic day. Our peoples have begun to reach an agreement, Anna. I think, they say that this is due to soccer diplomacy. The Turkish president went over to watch the soccer match between Armenia and Turkey in Armenia, and now the Armenian president doing likewise. And now it looks like they're going to begin to sign a peace deal. Okay.
Right. There's talks about it. And it's interesting because at first they wanted to sign this peace deal on Saturday, but the Armenians haven't signed on to it yet. Okay.
Yes.
So
what's causing trouble is you folks here in America. Do you know that?
yes, the Armenian diaspora or diaspora.
Diaspora, right?
Right.
It's because they want to just get on and have normal relations, etc. But Turkey doesn't want to recognize the genocide, so they proposed a panel to look into the genocide. And the Armenians that are not living in Armenia are like, what panel? What name so? We don't need no stinking panel. We already know, right? But the Armenians that live in Armenia are saying, yeah, okay, I hear you. And they're also
Right.
concerned about that, right? But on the other hand, this would really help our economy.
Yes, exactly. It's the economic interest, right?
Right.
Right now, it would help Armenia tremendously to become allies with their neighbors. They need the help. They need to form relations so their economy can prosper, so their country can grow. Right now, Armenia is just in a bad economic situation. But at the same time, Armenians that are not living in Armenia and don't know what the situation is like there are like, no, hell no, you can't do that. You have to make sure that they apologize for what they've done. You have to make sure they recognize what they've done. And
it's easier to say when you don't live in Armenia.
exactly.
Right. Now, having said that, this is a great thing, and it's a great step forward. And look, hopefully the panel will be, they'll take good precautions to make it to make sure that it's an honest and open panel, and then they reach. And if you're convinced that you're right, then they'll reach that conclusion anyway. So then that'll help for the Turkish government to say yes, okay, we accept what the panel said, and if they say it happened, then it happened, right? And so that might help the Turkish side get over it. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, right? Anyway, it's cool because, first of all, I'd like to take credit. It has nothing to do with soccer diplomacy. It was Anna and I co-hosting the show, okay? And that's when Armenians and Turks realized, oh my God, we can get along.
Right.
Okay? And second of all, that picture that Jesus just showed you is really cool. Tell them what the picture is, Anna.
Okay, one of our listeners, his name is Mert Can. He sent this picture to me, and it's a group of Armenians and Turks, and they've all come together, and as you can see, there's an Armenian flag and a Turkish flag. So you could see that the younger generations in Armenia and Turkey are 100% ready to become friends.
Look at that, man. We got a whole new generation. Fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. That's what the young Turks are talking about. All right, and finally, here's a fun little fact. Anna and I going on Russian television tomorrow to talk about this issue. Isn't that fascinating? That's super cool. All right, that's that. All right, let's move forward.
Okay, so the gentleman who blackmailed David Letterman, Robert Halderman, apparently did not want the money. He wanted the revenge. He wanted to ruin David Letterman's life and Stephanie Burkett's life because he was actually dating Stephanie while Letterman was banging her on the side.
All right. Some people say, oh, how spiteful and ridiculous and et cetera, and it is. But at the same time, I get it.
Yeah, so do I.
I think that's a perfectly fine motivation. If someone's, banging your girlfriend, it's called, what is it called, Anna?
Strike back.
You got that right. It's called strike back. Right? So Halderman decides to strike back, and that's how he rolled. The only problem is extortion is illegal, so he might face a long time in prison. That's probably not the smart way to do it.
Right.
So, all right, next.
Okay, 37-year-old man in Florida has gotten arrested 3 times in early 2006, and he went through a metamorphosis while he was
These
in
are
jail.
3 different mugshots you're about to see.
Right.
And they're scary, man. It really is. All right, so let's look at it, okay? On the left is the first mugshot. He seems almost perfectly normal. In the middle, he's starting to get neck tattoos. Now, how many times have I told you about neck tattoos, right? At least a no good, right?
Yes.
And then on the right, you see what neck tattoos led to.
Eyebrow tattoos.
Yeah, and then the teeth and the growling, and that dude on the
This
right
is
looks
all-
super scary, man.
This all happened in the beginning of 2006. I mean, it didn't take much.
Yeah. That dude had some issues, man.
On the other hand, he did lose a little weight.
Yeah. Looking a little better. Okay. Looking svelte. Are you into the guy on the right?
No, not even a little bit.
All right. If you had to date one of these guys, which one would you date?
The chunky guy.
The one all the way on the left.
I'm sorry, I don't think I could date a guy with tattoos on his neck and face. I just can't. I mean, I don't have anything against tattoos that are hidden away on someone's body, but not on the neck and face. It's not okay.
So you're trading a little bit more chubby for a little less tattoos.
Yeah. You know, I've never been with a chubby guy, so it would be a new experience.
Oh, God, you're unbearable. Unbearable.
Why?
Like, oh, you know, I've never been with a chubby guy. Okay, I pardon you. Come. Okay. Am I not merciful? Am I not merciful?
No, I don't mean it that way. I've had 2 boyfriends, okay? That doesn't mean anything.
Okay,
So,
all right.
out of the 2 boyfriends I've had, they just happen to be skinny.
I hear you. The one last note on that metamorphosis is that I give him credit. By the end, if he has accomplished his mission. His mission, I take it, was to look scarier. He did look scarier. It did look like a guy that I'm not interested in, messing around with. So, I guess in some bizarre way, mission accomplished. Enjoy it.
All right, let's go to Alabama. 37-year-old Jackie Knott was going to a charity drive, and she needed 3 gigantic boxes, right? So she fit 2 boxes into her van, and one of the boxes didn't fit. So she decided, I'm going to put this box on top of my van and use my 13-year-old daughter as a human paperweight to hold the box down as I drive on the highway.
I hate to do it to you, Alabama, but only in Alabama. Now, I know it happens in other places too, but as I saw the story, I was like, oh no. Sweet home Alabama. Okay, yeah, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, any little swerve of the car. She's like, no, we were just going 20 miles per hour. And here's my favorite part.
Right.
She's like, we were only 1.5 miles from church. We almost made it.
Right.
What are you bothering me for? You see?
She also said that she tied the box down with a clothes hanger.
Oh, well, then nothing could have gone wrong. No, but now the thing is, the daughter loves her, and the daughter's like, look, it was my idea, and I thought it'd be cute, and she's like, don't take away my mom, she's a good mom. And then by the end, I kind of felt bad for her, And I was like, so then I began to wonder, should she really been arrested? Arrested? I mean, obviously it's really stupid, right? But arrested? I don't know. What do you think?
I think there should be legal action against her, definitely, but I don't think that her kid should be taken away from her or anything like that. You know how Child Protective Services are.
Right, but that might be, now if you're going to court and, you endangered your child and it's a criminal offense or at least a criminal charge, they might take the kid away. And then I think that's probably going too far. I mean, it was just a dumb, boneheaded move, and you could really hurt the kid that way, obviously. Any little swerving of the car, etc., right? So don't try this at home. But in the end, I'd go for probation and give the kid back. So
yeah, probation and give the kid back. I like that idea.
Okay, come on.
Are we not merciful?
Are we not merciful?
Right.
This whole show is based on mercy.
This story reminds me of a study I read yesterday. In fact, I have the study right here. And the study indicated that men who are married to educated women live longer. Right?
Oh, interesting.
And this study was done by the Swedish Institute for Social Research, and they basically concluded that educated women are a lot smarter when it comes to eating healthier and leading healthier lifestyles, and they don't do crazy things like put people on the top of their car and drive on the highway. So, in this study, researchers used Swedish census data from 1990 on more than 1.5 million employed men and women ranging from 30 to 59 years old. So this was a serious study.
All right. Now, I can tell you in my personal life that is true because my wife has a master's in psychology, so graduate level. She's about to become a doctor of psychology, okay? And you know what she got me to start doing?
Eating healthier?
Eating fruits and vegetables. Now I eat a ton more fruit than I used to. And then when she cooks, I eat vegetables, which I almost never eat otherwise. So I'm a living example of how true that study is.
Right.
Okay, you know what? And besides which, for other reasons as well, marry smart. It's a smart way to go.
Marry smart.
Think about it.
All right.
God, we're such a helpful show. That's what we do. We help the community. Hey, Seuss, marrying smart's helped you, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I even got medical insurance now.
That's true. I got insurance through Wendy, too. We're geniuses for marrying educated women.
All right.
All right.
All right. Oklahoma has just passed a new law. Do we have time?
Yeah.
Okay. Oklahoma has passed a new law regarding abortions. Women who get an abortion will now have to fill out a questionnaire. And their doctors will also have to fill out a questionnaire that asks a whole bunch of personal information that will be published on the internet. Now, this questionnaire isn't going to ask them about their name or where they live or their contact information, but it's going to ask them what their ethnicity is, why they're having the abortion, whether or not the baby or the fetus is going to have any anesthetic before the abortion takes place. And basically, what people are doing in Oklahoma, they're trying to get these women who are thinking about getting abortions to change their minds.
Yeah, and they basically want to dissuade them by letting them know, hey, people in your community are probably going to find out and realize who you are. If they know your age, your ethnicity, where you're from, your hometown, etc., people can piece things together. It's an effort in intimidating people to take away their right to choice. And they think they're being cute about it, and when you ask them, they say, yeah, we want people to get less abortions, so if it leads to them, you know, whatever it is, feeling threatened, intimidated, whatever, we don't care. That's our goal, is to make sure they don't get the abortion. So that seems to be doing damage to their cause when this case eventually winds up in court, right? But anyway, it pisses you off, right?
Yeah, of course it pisses me off. When I read stories about Oklahoma, I ask myself, like, why don't people who live in Oklahoma go live in a third world country instead? Like, seriously, why don't they? I mean, they don't believe
Why don't you?
They don't believe in women's rights. They don't believe in giving us freedom. Why don't you go live in, you know, some crazy country where women don't have rights and don't have the ability to speak or do anything other than wear a huge robe or whatever all over their body and, you know, just be walking weird figures. Like, I don't understand. Why does Oklahoma exist? I can't stand Oklahoma. And it's weird how they think it's okay. Like, they go around talking about how great America is because America is for freedom. There is no freaking freedom in a state like that.
There is some irony there. You remember that last story we did on Oklahoma? It was the high school test where they scored 3% on the immigration test.
Yeah.
Or 3% of high school students in Oklahoma would have passed the immigration test. 77% of them did not know who the first president of the United States was. But they're patriotic. They're real Americans. Okay, now look, it's too much Oklahoma bashing. Obviously, there's good folks in Oklahoma.
Yeah, I know.
Right, but these are the guys we're fighting against, right? And they're trying to, and if you live in Oklahoma, they're trying to take away your rights, you know? And that's why it's really frustrating and maddening.
And these are the same people who will say, what about our Second Amendment rights where we get to carry around guns and do whatever we want? Okay, what about our fucking right to choose? What about that? You can't pick and choose what you want and don't want in the Constitution.
Well, of course, they claim that's not in the Constitution. The flip side is...
Well, the right to privacy is in the Constitution, is it not?
Well, they would claim it's not.
Well, they can go fuck themselves.
But you know what? Then you can make the counter-argument that the Second Amendment says that you should have a right to a gun within well-regulated militia. And if you're not in a militia, then you don't get to have a gun. So look, everybody can make a constitutional argument on both sides. But then you have to respect Supreme Court precedent, too, on both sides as well. All right, and as you can tell, Anna is rightfully and justifiably a little angry about what's happening in Oklahoma. And she's right, because what they're really going to do is they're going to pressure some poor girl, you know, 18-year-old girl who's scared that she's going to find out, and she's going to have the kid, right, because they didn't give her the abortion, and then she's stuck in Oklahoma forever. You know, there goes college, there goes this and that. I mean,
not even that. I mean, what they want is, you know, to force these girls or these young girls or whoever was thinking about getting an abortion. They want to force them to feel like they have to give birth to this child, and if they don't feel like they can take care of the child, they should give it up for adoption, right? They want to make that decision for these women, and I hate that. That drives me crazy. And you know, one person that I listen to once in a while on the radio as I'm driving to work is Dr. Laura Schlesinger, or whatever her name is,
you
right?
Gotta stop that.
No, she's freaking crazy. She's insane. No, she's insane.
She's insane.
Because we were talking about, hold on, remember you were talking about on the show how some Republicans think preschool is just women trying to throw their kids into daycare and not take care of them, right?
Right.
And this woman is always protesting about preschool and always protesting about women who want to work, right? as they have their children, as they raise their family. She thinks that as a woman, you should listen to your husband 100% of the time and always yield to what he says.
All of a sudden, Dr. Laura, not so bad.
Dr. Laura is a bitch. And then she talks about, no, I'm sorry, I have to tell you. And then she talks about how women have to stay home. They are not allowed to work as they're raising their child. There's no way that that's okay. If you do that, you're abandoning and neglecting your child. Like, why do women like this exist? Why do you want to hold women back?
Why do you listen to her?
Because she's psycho, and it's interesting to listen to psycho people.
See, there you go, and that explains the appeal of Michael Savage as well. Look, I hear you on all that, and of course, if those women do wind up having the kid, and they can't afford it because they're young and they don't have a job and an education, you know, the first people who kick them to the curb are those same exact Republicans. And they're like, oh yeah, welfare mom, single mom, you get out of here, go get a job. Okay, then I need to put him in daycare or preschool. Just screw daycare or preschool. Go back home. Like, I didn't, you know, what do you want me to do, right? All right, anyway, enough Oklahoma conservative bashing. We will come right back. All right, back on the Young Turks. Couple of things here. One, time to thank some members. Member number 1317, Errol Zajac Jones, and Errol joined up on February 22nd of 2009. I have a cousin named Errol. I don't think you're it, though. And I had a friend in high school named Jason Zajac. You know him? Maybe we'll find out. All right. And member number 2024, Eric Whitesides. And he joined up in September 4th of 2009. So just last month, guys, we couldn't do the show without you. That is literal for the members. And you get, of course, a podcast of the whole show. And you can watch it anytime you like without any commercial interruptions. Okay, one more note. We've got a project going now where we want to get nominated for the Podcast Awards, okay? Because the more people that see us and could hear us, of course, the more our reach is. And if people see that we won these awards, they're more likely to check out the show. So that's what we're thinking. And it's at podcastawards.com. You can go and vote for us there. Actually nominate us in the beginning in two categories, politics and people's choice. Now, we have a link up to where you need to go in the nomination process on our website as well, of course, on theyoungturks.com. So go check it out, nominate the show, and hopefully we'll get a podcast award and it'll kick ass. Okay? Thanks for your help as always. What's next?
All right. A sheik from the United Arab Emirates has been charged with 2 counts of felony criminal sexual conduct for fondling a cleaning lady in a hotel. He digitally entered her vagina, which I think is the weirdest phrase ever. But
I like the technical phrase even more. We had digital penetration.
Right.
We've got digital penetration. Okay, now, according to her, they have 2 different sides of the story, of course. According to her, he starts by saying, hey, let me read your palm. And he starts rubbing her palm and stuff. That's a nice, cheesy Middle Eastern move. And then later, this is where it gets fishy, he says, let me read your neck, and starts to rub her neck.
Right. Okay.
Now, Anna, that's probably the point where you start to think, are you really reading my future here? Because if you read my palm, that's logical, right? But reading my neck by rubbing it, beginning it a little irrational.
Right, but she was probably intimidated and scared. I mean, this guy obviously is a big figure in the United Arab Emirates, and she probably felt really, really intimidated by it. I mean, and by the way, he was staying in a hotel room that was $5,000 a night. So she knew he was a big guy.
I get you, but they're in the United States of America. Okay.
Right.
So it's not like, oh my God, this sheik will have me, fired or executed or anything like that. But anyway, look, but it happens. It happens. People get intimidated all the time, and et cetera, and guys take advantage sometimes. And of course, he says that this was all voluntary, and she said, well, I didn't stop him with the neck rub. I probably should have. But then he started to breathe in my ear. Okay, now we're getting really creepy on our way to digital penetration. And then he fondled one of her breasts, apparently.
The left breast.
The left breast. Always with fondling one of the breasts, but leaving the other one alone. Mm-hmm. And then she says that he pinned her down on a couch, which is really unfortunate, of course. Mm-hmm. And then
put his hand up her skirt and did what he did.
Right. Now, he says, now this is, it was a he said, she said. As the story began, I thought she's probably right because we were getting her point of view, right? And he gives his point of view, and I thought, maybe, hold on, just because I'm the most open-minded man in America, everybody knows it, okay? But then he starts to change his story.
Yes.
And that's where I was like, oh, schwang, wang, wang, Debbie Schlusel. So he's like, oh, no, I didn't grab her breast. Okay, fine, I grabbed her breast, but she wanted it.
Right. Let me tell you exactly what he said. Let me tell you exactly what he said. At first, he told the authorities, I read her palms and then she left. Right? And then he continued to say, I only touched her by giving her a hug. And then they kept questioning him, and he said, yes, I touched her breasts. And then finally he said, I never touched her vagina. She is just saying that. I only touched her butt on the outside of her pants. I never put my hands down her pants.
Yeah. By the end of that, I definitely don't believe you. Okay. You know that he's the crown prince and effective ruler of Ras Al Khaimah, one of the 7 emirates comprising the United Arab Emirates. Now, yeah, I know you said that he was an important sheikh from the UAE, etc., but honestly, Ras Al Khaimah, it does not get a lot of hype. I mean, Abu Dhabi and Dubai, etc., they get all the hype, but this guy's the ruler of one of the 7 parts of the UAE.
Right.
That's pretty significant. And here's the funny part. So he's getting treatment at the Mayo Clinic. That's not the funny part. And so this happens. And they put him in jail for a whole weekend, which if you're the ruler of a country, I'm sure he was like blown away by that. He's like, how could you?
Right.
And he tried to claim diplomatic immunity, etc. The minute they let him out of jail, he's gonzo. He's like, screw this, back to the UAE where I can do digital penetration all day and all night long. He's the sheik that runs that place.
Right.
He's, how many women he's going to breathe in the ear of once he gets back to the UAE?
Many.
Yeah, so, but that doesn't fly over here, son.
Poor thing.
Randomly getting yeah, son.
He was set to be the host of the upcoming America's Cup yacht race, and now he can't do that.
Well, no,
Poor
it's not.
guy.
Oh, poor guy. It's not clear that he can actually, but some are complaining about it, including the American delegation. And look, I don't know that that this should necessarily affect the whole country and whether they get the yacht race, etc. I'm going to leave that issue alone. But I tell you, in all seriousness, the one part of the story that I enjoyed was he probably does get away with any damn thing he likes in his country, right? So there was, I enjoyed that, a little cleaning lady in America can hold you accountable no matter who you are, right? And you don't do that to somebody, right? And so if you do and you think you're going to take advantage of somebody, not here. And that's part of what I love about America. All right, I just got serious on your ass.
Okay, let's go to the next story.
Okay.
We have a cross-dressing young boy in Georgia. 16-year-old Jonathan Escobar likes to wear makeup, likes to wear women's clothing, likes to wear heels to school. So one day, school administrators came up to him and said, you need to dress a little more manly. And we have video, and I have some thoughts and opinions on this.
First of all, I think we now have gotten to a situation where we have to fill this quota. You can't do a whole show without doing some sort of transgendered, cross-dressing story.
Right.
So that's the quote story of today. Yes. At first, the reason I'm telling you this before the video is because as I was reading the article, I thought, okay, he puts on a wig, he dresses like a girl a little bit. What are they flipping out over, right? No, you're going to see. He really dresses like a girl. He's not playing. Let's watch.
A cross-dressing teen in Cobb County says school officials left him no other choice but to drop out of school. 16-year-old Jonathan Escobar prefers to dress like a woman. He says it's his way of expressing himself. But after he enrolled at North Cobb High School last week, officials there said his appearance was causing a disruption. They told him it violated the dress code and he couldn't come to school that way, so he withdrew.
I want people to know that it's okay to be different, gay or straight. Should always, if you have a different style, always express it.
500 people have joined a face group in support of the teen.
That Facebook page actually has more than 1,000 people at this point. But I'm all for it. I don't think that administrators had any right to tell him to dress more manly.
Yeah, but he really looks like a girl.
Okay.
I'm just playing. All right, the group is called Support Jonathan, and they're now wearing pink T-shirts with the words Support Jonathan to different schools throughout the country. Should they have told him that he's got to dress more like a man? Of course not. What business is it of theirs?
Right.
They see it's a distraction. It already caused a fight. Really? Who did it cause a fight between? I don't believe that at all, right? And Sandoval, what does that mean that you're a distraction? A really hot girl's a distraction in high school.
Right.
Trust me, that's a distraction, okay? We're going to ban really hot girls? All the young boys are looking at you, lady, Missy, so I need you to cover up. I mean, come on. Let him go. Let him do whatever he's going to do. You're causing it 10 times more, 100 times more distraction by telling him to dress more manly.
Right, and I mean, what they're doing, let's talk about the academic implications of this, right? What they're doing made this person drop out of school, right? Which is not the way you want to go. That's like the worst possible scenario, right?
Right, and you know, if you're a school whose job is to educate people, right? And you might think, hey, well, that's his decision. But no, they literally told him, either dress more manly or go get homeschooling. That's not an acceptable thing to say.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy. No, and what's the downside of all this? If you allowed him to walk around like that. After 3 days, everybody gets used to it. So what? And then it's done. The problem isn't the kids. The problem is the administrators.
Right.
They're uncomfortable with it.
Exactly.
Okay, let's keep it real. You know what? TYT's on board. Support Jonathan. All right. Are we done?
We're done.
I guess we are. Oh, the girl skirts, up to skirts.
We can do that story tomorrow.
Well, we'll see. All right, we're going to do a post game. We might do upskirt story. That sounds interesting. And an interesting food invention. I'm doing these stories today.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Come right back, Young Turks.